This video is brought to you by Squarespace. From websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and to run your business.
Hey photographer, Jessica Whitaker here, and in today's video, I am going to be critiquing your photography websites. I asked over in my Build and Bloom photography Facebook group if you wanted your website reviewed and critiqued by me, and the answer was yes. There were a lot of submissions to have websites reviewed, and so I picked out 5 or 6 that I'm going to be going through today, and if your website did not get onto this video, you still will be able to apply a ton of the tips and tricks that I share when I'm critiquing your fellow photographers' sites into your own business. I should also probably share a little bit of my qualifications for this video. So I've been doing photography for going on 13 years now. I've been teaching it here on YouTube for 3, going on 4 years. I've taught at 8 of my own in-person workshops all around the globe. I teach with Institute of Code in Bali, Indonesia, their social media photography workshop, and I also have my own online photography workshop that I'll also have linked down below. In addition to teaching, I've also done dozens of private coaching calls where I help photographers optimize their business from start to finish, including that of their websites. So that's a little bit of background on me and where I'm coming from with this video. The reason why I'm able to make this free critique video is because of my amazing sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform where you can have your website, domain, email marketing and campaigns, and you can also have an online store. It's what I use in my own photography business, in my nonprofit, and where I also build out my friends' websites a little bit on the side. And by on the side, I mean we literally are able to create a whole new site for them and their business during our 1-hour layover at the Berlin airport. If you're interested in giving it a go, you can head to squarespace.com to start your free trial. And when you're ready to launch your beautiful professional website, whether it took you 2 days or just a layover at the Berlin airport, you can head to squarespace.com/Jessica Whitaker to get 10% off of your first purchase of a website or a domain. We're gonna pop on over to the computer and start out with the critiques.
Let's begin with website number 1, Grace and Fire Photography and Films. Now, I'm not going to be going through every page on each website. I just quickly looked over the sites and picked out different things that were unique to each site that could be fixed so that I'm not repeating a bunch of information. The number one first thing that I see about this website is the pop-up banner up here is outdated. When I'm filming this video, it's 2020, it's winter 2020, and this banner says summer fills up very quickly. This will need to be changed. And another thing that I encourage everyone to change if you haven't, and a lot of these websites actually that were submitted haven't done this either, even the ones I'm not reviewing, is this fave icon on this tab. Now, this should be changed, and it's a very easy change to do within Squarespace, and this is actually the Squarespace's fave icon. Just adjusting this is something so simple that emulates like your branding into these little details. So I'm seeing that we have a string of keywords up here, and these I'm assuming are kind of done with the intention of boosting SEO, but it looks a little bit sloppy, so I would remove that. Now, one thing I really kind of want to focus in on about this just first page is kind of the font choice. We have 4 different fonts going on here, and I'm not sure if we have any outside of those 4. No, it looks like it's just those 4. Now, this is my personal opinion. All of this is my personal opinion, and I don't critique any of these. It just seem like I'm dragging somebody's branding or taste. I have your best interest at heart. We have a lot of competition, as photographers, and we want to make sure that everything about our brand is really polished. When I see this font, this kind of almost handwritten font, it looks very outdated to me. It doesn't look current or contemporary. It kind of reminds me of like 2014, maybe you would see this on like a wooden sign at Home Goods. It just doesn't, it's not fresh, it's not modern. And now I can see how if this photographer, Grace and Fire Photography and Films, does a lot of family portraits and works with kids. So maybe to them, oh, this font choice is playful. It kind of has that look to it that might reflect, happy family photographs. But I would still encourage you to try to find another font that still is a bit playful without being so outdated. And if I have to scroll all the way down here past this wall of text to see these beautiful images, that's not very optimal. So use some of these photos to kind of maybe grab these people's testimonial, pop it on the side here in Squarespace. When you import photos, you have the option to add banners and buttons and text over top. So take advantage of that. Maybe, Catherine, you're going to take some snippets from this wall of text and have this over the photos. Next website we have is Nadine Ruiz Photography, and it looks like we have quite a great variant of photos and different subjects. So we have weddings, some portraits, kids. My biggest suggestion would be maybe if you could incorporate some testimonials, like I was talking about for the Grace and Fire photography website. Incorporate some testimonials, ask the bride and groom, ask them to write a testimonial if they didn't give you one already, and incorporate that over some of these images. So I think that the images are cute, but you could do more with incorporating text over top. You could even share about your style of photography, where you're located, just instead of almost having a collage. But I do think the images that you have on it are great. It shows a bit of variety, right? Now, this is the page that I do really want to focus in on for one moment. I think this is where you can really put a ton of your images in. You can break down the different sessions. This to me isn't enough. Engagements and elopements. But then we have a photo of, I'm assuming a mom and her kid. We have branding, but again, a photo of mom and kid. Use photos from your portfolio as examples for each of these sections and talk about the importance of doing branding photography. Talk about the importance of children and family photography. Incorporate more copy, more text, and more images onto this page. And also, it looks like the layout, this is a Squarespace site, I can tell by here in the fave icon. For some reason, it's all almost leaning on the left side, and we have this 3-inch white space. I'm assuming there's some kind of spacer here, so either eliminate that spacer or pop one in right here, but it's just kind of awkwardly pushed to the left side. And the let's work together. I like this tagline, but I think maybe do a horizontal photo of your camera and have that be in big text. There's so much you can do with this site. The next website we are going to go over is the Wild Love Photos. This is a sister duo who does photography, which I think is really a unique angle, especially to come at, because you see a lot of partners like husband and wife, for example, doing photography together, or even just friends, but you don't really see sister dynamic so often. So I think that's a unique aspect. So let's go back to the About Us page. Love this photo. I think it's really, really cute. So Fairfax is in Virginia, so I would even write Fairfax, Virginia in text under here just to make it super clear where your location is at. Okay, so something I think would be really fun for you two to do, and then also for anyone else who is interested in taking on this challenge and really separating themselves out from others in the area, is to do a video, an intro video. It doesn't have to be this big production. It doesn't have to be the same scale as this beautiful photo shoot. You too can just stick your camera on a tripod, maybe in front of your desk or some seamless paper, whatever it might be as a nice background, and just talk about your dynamic, why you started doing photography together as this dynamic duo of sisters. I think that would separate you out from others in your area 10 times more than already right now. any of you listening can do this. You can do it with an iPhone, like, so your phone, as long as you're just in front of some nice natural light. But let's face it, let's be real. You photographers own cameras, and while they might not be the best cameras for video, it will do the job. So I would encourage you to take this weekend to write some copy for what you're gonna say, learn how to, turn it into video mode on your camera, and just record, and then go into iMovie or Windows Movie Maker or Final Cut Pro if you have more of like a paid program. Chances are, if you're not a videographer and you don't do video, you don't, but your phone and what comes with your computer is enough to really kill it. Upload it to YouTube or Vimeo, and then with Squarespace, it's super easy. Just pop in video right here and link it. All right, our next site is Charles Preston Photography, and just from this homepage, this landing page, I'm getting a feel that this is going to be high fashion photography. I'm getting an idea that he does like retouching as well, and so I'm excited to kind of see what Charles has on his site. Now, the first thing I would say is to maybe eliminate this hashtag. I get why you would put it there, but it does take away from, there's already so much text on this page, right? And it just kind of takes away from the photograph. I think you could just keep this tagline. Let's talk about your contact form. So this should be a completely different page from the About Me, because right now it's info, but it's not info on like the packages. It's kind of, I would suggest to swap that out for About. Now, you're gonna make this a whole separate page, and I think I see a lot of photographers skipping over having photos on their contact page, and it's like the pricing. It's like anywhere where you're about to potentially book this client, but they have 5 other photographers open on their computer, you have to constantly remind them visually of why they are inquiring with you, why they want to book with you. We're competing for the attention. So I would encourage you to put, and I did browse the rest of your website too, you have so many beautiful, Charles, okay, you'll want to adjust that. Fix that. Make sure you guys don't have any broken links, because I know that's something that can get looked over a bit. But you do have so many beautiful photos, as do all of y'all watching this. Like, imagine having this photo on the side of the contact page. How stunning. You really have to remind people why they're looking to book with you. Like, these photos are all so beautiful. Let's scatter them throughout the whole rest of your website whenever people are going to be reading up on more information about how they can work with you. So that should be separate, and I think your contact form, the more detailed and specific you can get with your potential clients, the better. So ask them what city they're in, what city they're looking to book in. Do they have a date in mind? How many outfits are they thinking of doing? Now, I don't know. Let's see if you have any of your information on pricing. Yep, rates and booking. So if you have your rates, but maybe in the contact page, you can also incorporate a question of which package would you like to go with, and more photos here too. Okay, this is going to be the last site in the review video. So this is adventurebycarly.com. So Carly, I already looked over your site as well. She is based in Hawaii, which is like such a dream location for so many of us. My first thing that I would say, Carly, see how you can swap out or rearrange some of these colors for your branding in a different way. I feel like I don't mind the more neutral tones at all, but I feel like this kind of manila yellow, like it's like a folder yellow backdrop with this brown, is a bit dated, and then it's kind of like the template itself. I would say, Carly, number one, and you use a Squarespace site too, because you also have the Squarespace fave icon that could get changed. I would encourage you to check out other templates within Squarespace. I feel like you could find something that's a bit more contemporary, a bit more fresh, and still use all of these beautiful tones, but just in a different way. This looks a little bit too, I don't want to say barren, but it's a little bit too plain for your work. Your work is colorful. It's at this dream location. I mean, it's beautiful, but the colors of the way you've arranged it just don't reflect that. And I feel like Squarespace has so many good templates that you can literally pop all of these colors into the template designer and it will generate for you a bunch of different options. So that's my number one thing. I know there's kind of a debate for people about whether or not carousels should be used on websites. The reason why I kind of stay away from them nowadays is because I think it works for photos that are horizontal because it takes up a majority of the page, right? But when it comes to vertical, it just leaves you with more blank space than photograph. So either maybe double up these images, so have them be side by side vertical, or only have horizontal, or even probably better yet, stack some of the photos. So you can have a horizontal photo here with text. You can have a vertical photo here with text and have different sections. So you do have kind of like these photos of you down here, which I think is great. I love that you're kind of breaking it into sections already, but I feel like you could bring that up just one step even further. So there's adventure and everything. We just got to look for it. So I think that this section could be broken down into there's adventure and everything could be overlaying one of these images. And then you scroll down and it's a bit of text here. And then I'm glad you're here. Allow me to introduce myself. And then it's this beautiful photo of you. I just think that overall, the way that the site is formatted could be significantly improved, I think, by just switching out the template and taking advantage of like the pre-laid out pages that Squarespace has for you. We kind of maybe have been putting off like, okay, I know I need to change out my template. I just don't have time. Well, if you can find 20 minutes to carve out this weekend to find a template, pop in your branding colors, that will already give your site such a facelift. Okay, that is it for the reviews. I'll see you back at the screen.
All right, that is the critique. I hope that everyone was able to learn something from this video. I hope you're able to pull some of the tips and tricks that I shared and implement it into your own photography website. If you don't have a photography website or you're looking to update yours, be sure to check out Squarespace. Again, you can grab that 10% off code on a website or a domain down below in the description box. It's just squarespace.com/Jessica Whitaker. If you're not a member of the Build and Bloom Facebook group, I encourage you to join. I'll have a link to that down below. It's free and it's full of 60,000 kind, encouraging photographers. It's actually one of Facebook's most highly engaged photography communities, but it's full of very kind, encouraging photographers. If you love what you see here on YouTube, be sure to hit subscribe. Then you'll be the first to know when a new tutorial for your business comes out. And you can also check me out on Instagram. That's where I'm sharing daily tips and tools over there through Instagram stories and Instagram lives. And if you like what you're learning from me here on YouTube, you just might love my online photography workshop. I'll have that link down below as well. It's where I cover in just under 6 hours how to build a sustainable photography business no matter where in the world you're at. I believe in you and your business, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.